Hello and welcome back to another Bad Movie Reviews review hosted by your two favourite speed demons, Ben and Daniel. First of all, welcome to the new year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy holidays, Happy New Year, Happy New Me, Happy New Setup, as you can probably tell. Or you might not be able to, it just depends if you've watched any of our previous videos.
Yeah,
But
and welcome if you're joining for the first time in 2024.
correct. However, we are reviewing a film that's technically a 2023 movie because of how Australian release dates work, which I'm sure if you're from Australia, you would know the pain. But it is none other than Michael Mann's Ferrari, which is a film I've been looking forward to for quite some time. I don't know how familiar you are with Mann's work, but he's a director that works very sparingly.
I just see Adam Driver pop up on screen and I'm like, sign me up for that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's directed a lot of bangers from the night. Like he directed Heat, Ali with Will Smith. He directed Collateral early 2000s with Tom Cruise, Public Enemies. His last film was Black Hat in 2015, which was
I don't think I saw that.
It was a film with Chris Hemsworth, which, to be honest, is severely underrated. It's very much about like hacking and all that side of things, but does work sparingly. But yes, it is his latest film. So first film in 8 years, and it is, as you're right, starring none other than Adam Driver, which is an actor who, whenever he does get the chance, is extremely good.
Yeah. If he's got a script to obviously compliment that, I feel like he's got the props for it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Among with other notable performances or cast as well, you've got Shailene Woodley in this. You've got Penelope Cruz.
Shailene Woodley, was that the OG wife?
No, Penelope Cruz was.
Yep, sorry. I knew I was going to get them mixed up.
Jeez.
I suck at names.
And Shailene Woodley plays Lena, who's his infidelity.
Yep.
And then you've also got the man, the myth, the legend, Mick Dreamy from Grey's Anatomy. I forgot his name, Patrick Dempsey, I think it was. But yeah, I mean, from a director who obviously hasn't worked in a while, he hasn't lost his touch.
Nah, not at all.
For a film, like all these films very much use incredible sound design, but I actually thought this film utilized the use of silence very well. And obviously it's a film itself, which is, you know, naming after obviously probably one of the most famous car brands and obviously about Enzo Ferrari, which if you don't know obviously what the film's about, it's based on a book, but it's essentially about I wouldn't say the life of Enzo Ferrari, but more of a sort of a torturous kind of 5 years of his life around 1957, I think it was.
It started at 47.
Yeah, 47 and then it was 57.
Yeah.
But I guess it's about a period of darkness and grief and sadness and loneliness. So that's all I'll leave it at in terms of plot. I'm sure you can probably figure it out.
I didn't even know about like obviously that whole story and everything that went on there. And man, what a situation to be in to the poor man living. I guess it's hard to live one life, let alone two within all that. So look, I'm going to go straight into like how I felt about this film, but look, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. And actually, I was going to say something and then I completely forgot and then it came back to like my brain just then.
Oh, don't say it.
But the silence, and you're talking about how like great that use was. In this kind of film, when you get to like cars and, the racing side of things, you expect really good audio design. I feel like that was there, but it actually had some good score, which I wasn't expecting. There was a lot of like background audio that really like elevated a few scenes that I kind of wasn't expecting because I just wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, usually with these kind of films, you're kind of obviously getting high octane. Like, it's obviously a biopic, but when you think of these kind of films, you've obviously got biopics that you've previously witnessed, especially in the past 10 years, like Ford v Ferrari and then Rush, like these car racing films. Where, well, not so much. I mean, they're more biopics, but they're obviously films with which have car racing in it. Yeah, obviously is very highlighted on the racing itself and the sound design that accompanies that. And both of those films have fantastic sound design, but this film was probably more of a series. Like, it's quite brutal.
Yeah.
Certain scenes I'm not going to touch on, but yeah, you're right. The score itself was actually quite top notch, which Michael Mann usually has a great score accompanying his films. But yeah, I'm with you. I thought this film was quite fantastic, to be honest. I really enjoyed it. I thought it really came down to Adam Driver's performance, which, to be honest, I probably think is... I don't know if it's my favourite performance of his to date, but I do think it's probably one of his best.
Yeah,
when I think of his fantastic performances, most people will talk about how he was, Black Klansman or even nominated for Academy Award for Marriage Story, but they're very, they have the scenes that you're very over the top and you can perform, you can act, right? But this is it's a very poignant performance. Like there's the whole film, he's obviously dealing with grief and pain, and like essentially his entire world, everything he's built is on the verge of collapsing, right? And there's one specific scene where I noticed anyway. I don't know if you, but like it's just not really a close up, but it's the score kicks in and then it starts actually turning to silence after a big moment in the film, and you just see him there, and it's almost like he had this stoicism to him, but also like he just looked so emotional.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
He looked incredibly emotional, but also like like your man's man, like fuck, I'm depressed, but I'm not gonna which I'm not. I'm not like that, but obviously this is a 50 in 1950s, and he's an Italian, like the stereotype Italian old man, like 100%. It's up there, but now I think that really rode on his performance.
Yeah, you're spot on with that. Like I was thinking throughout it, like the man seemed so stoic, and like felt like he felt like his character that he was portraying, which is obviously Enzo Ferrari, was very kind of like heartless, but somehow full of so much emotion, but never portrayed it. You could see it like underlying in every scene, like holding back something to try to be like, the bigger man or a tougher guy, or, I'm a bloke, I've got to move on with my problems kind of thing. Like that really elevated some of that acting there, I thought. Loved that. Loved it all together.
To be honest, I thought everyone was really good in this. I thought Penelope Cruz was also fantastic. Shailene Woodley, who I think is a very underrated actress who had a, 2014's Jennifer Lawrence type turbulence to her career doing like Divergence and like all those teen films, but when she's in anything, she's really good. She didn't really have sort of too many moments to shine, but there was one specific moment where she delivered a little bit of a, not monologue, but a little bit of a performance where I'm like, fuck, that hit.
That tugged something.
Yeah,
but, I gotcha.
No, I'm with you there. Like I didn't know much of the story, obviously know of Enzo Ferrari, but like good on him. I couldn't. No. I couldn't do any of it. I mean, I can't design cars. If I could, I wouldn't be here. But I might. I might just out of fun. But like after watching the film and going through what he went through, like I'm baffled, to be honest. I would have probably quit my job and went and lived in Sicily and in Italy, and just went and made wine for life, and just not tried to do anything for that matter.
What a journey.
And it's baffling. You know what? Like after seeing the film, I saw actually a viral piece of thing on Twitter where they had a Q&A of the film, and some fan, usually all Q&As are moderated by a person and will get the questions so they know they're not getting shit questions. And one guy literally says, what are your thoughts on the car crashes? Because I found them quite cringe and not really realistic. And Adam Driver literally just goes, fuck you. That's literally his response.
I think I've seen that.
And to be honest, I don't blame him, because especially the most obviously notable crash in the film, what happens after it is genuinely fucked.
Traumatizing.
And you see some shit, and asking that question is genuinely baffling to me. And after seeing it, I was like, what an odd question to ask. But after seeing it, I'm just like, what kind of person ask that question? And if you have seen it, you'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about, because what precedes that event is,
it's very jarring. Like what precedes the event.
Oh yeah, God, yeah. Like it's very confronting, and I was kind of sitting there, like fucking out, like mind my French, but no. To be honest, I had a great time with this film. I know we're reviewing it in 2024. It's a 2023 film when we release our best of or year in review, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is up there. If it's I haven't built the list, but whether it's a honorary,
a nice
honourable mention. I don't know if it'll crack my top 10, because I haven't looked at the films. I can already think of about 4 films I've rated 5 stars on Letterboxd, but I know. I thought it was a fantastic film. It really anchored by performances. The sound design was brilliant.
Shot fantastically.
It was beautiful. I mean, obviously, Italy in general is a beautiful to look at country, but like, you know, the racing in the countryside, like the direction of the racing scenes is just visceral action, really. Like some of the best shot action of the year, and it's not really action. It's just car racing. But some of the use of the camera angles and the camera shots, even like the use of handhelds through that.
Yeah,
that is unbelievable, and I kind of wish Michael Mann obviously directed films more often. But as soon as you do it more often, you might obviously lose some of the quality to it. So
yeah, spot on. I loved actually when it comes to like the way things were shot. The first 3 minutes of the film, it was like black and white. It was showing like the actual realistic race and things. And then they incorporated like shots of Adam Driver.
Deep faked his face.
Yeah, but like had they fully. Like
I say deep fake just as a laugh, but it was it was extremely, it wasn't
they
uncanny.
They made it
or
seem like it fit perfectly, you know, as in like drop all the saturation down, make it full black and white, but make it like extremely pixelated, similar with like, you know, it would have been portrayed. And I actually was like, oh, props to that for like trying to maintain that accuracy, like using some real footage mixed with some that are artificially made. And like creating this nice combination. I actually was like, oh, this is a great start to this film. It's good.
Yeah. No, like to be honest, I don't really have many cons. I thought I thought it did focus on the love relationship and the affair quite a bit, but at the end of the day, that's such a vital part, especially of this time period. So I don't think they could have changed anything of that differently. Obviously, what they're going through in the Ferrari business as well, but the pacing in the middle probably could have been, I guess, it didn't. It was only a little bit over 2 hours. It did start to feel it at one point, but then the last 30 was obviously the racing and like it relate, you know, got to the penultimate.
Penultimate.
Well, yeah, whatever. You get what I mean. Towards the ending, and you have obviously the heartfelt strings come into play. But no, I thought it was a great movie and Adam Driver's best performance to date. And I don't know exactly when it's out in America or if it is. I know it's obviously been playing early at the festivals and things like that. But I do, if it is out, highly recommend seeing it. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what else is out. Aquaman 2, we still haven't seen. We were busy over the Christmas period, and I don't know if I will see it or we will see it because we've heard some things. But if you have seen it, comment below. Let us know what you think. Feel free to subscribe, like the video if you like our review, and we'll be back next week to review The Iron Claw, which by all reports is incredible, I've heard, but you know, I don't want to get my hopes up. And then Mean Girls, the music, well, not the musical, it's just called Mean Girls, but that will also be here next week, which is shocking. No, it's not going to be used. That's actually film of the year. I've already decided. But yeah, subscribe, like the video, comment below what you think of Ferrari, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.